The auditorium was silent. I stood at the back, watching them, my stepchildren, gripping the microphone with shaking hands. After 14 years of raising them as my own, 14 years of sleepless nights, and endless hours of providing, they stood there. With every word, I felt the knot in my stomach tightening. "We want to thank our real dad," they said, their eyes searching the crowd, scanning for approval. "Not the loser who just paid the bills." The words landed like a blow to the chest. The audience laughed, clapped. It was a joke, but not to me. I smiled. It was the only thing I could do. That night I didn't sleep. I lay there staring at the ceiling. The words echoed in my mind. Real dad. I had been there for them since they were just children. I had given them everything. My time, my money, my love. But none of it mattered. I remembered the day they came into my life. The day I said "I do" to their mother, thinking I was making a family. I worked hard to provide them with everything. I built their college fund from nothing. 5 years. Every penny, saved and untouched. But tonight, everything had changed. The next day, I went to check on the college fund. It was gone. The account, gone. I stood in the kitchen, staring at the empty balance, trying to understand what had happened. Had I been robbed? Was it a mistake? I checked the bank's history. My blood ran cold. A wire transfer. To him, Victor, the man they had called their real dad. How had I missed it? How had I not seen the signs? It didn't make sense. None of it did. And yet, it was happening, right in front of me. I couldn't confront them. Not yet. Not until I had the truth. I kept my calm, my mask firmly in place. I checked the wire transfer history. It was a large sum. Too large. But there was more. The pattern was clear. Over the past 2 years, I'd made payments, every month, to their real dad, Victor. My first instinct was to confront him, to break down the door and demand answers. But no, that wasn't the way to do this. I needed to outsmart them, outplay them. I contacted my bank. I had them track the phone number used for the transfers, the name behind the account. I didn't need to confront them right now. I didn't need to raise suspicion. I was calm, too calm. I watched them, their every movement, every glance exchanged between my wife and the kids. I couldn't show emotion, not yet. I had to be strategic. I even sat through dinner with them, pretending everything was fine. Victor was out of town, but I knew he was involved. They were all in it together. Every move, every lie, every act, calculated. I was getting closer, but I needed more. The report came in. I didn't hesitate. I knew what I had to do. I stood in front of them, my wife, my stepchildren, sitting in the living room, looking at me like they had the upper hand. I held the printed report in my hands, the weight of it heavy. I walked over to them slowly, calmly. I handed it to her. The silence was deafening as she took it. It was the full transaction history, the evidence of their betrayal. Victor's name, my money. Her face turned pale. She looked up at me, her eyes widening in horror. I didn't, she stammered, but her words died in her throat. I didn't speak. I had nothing to say to her. I knew the truth. I had exposed it. She knew she couldn't hide anymore. I saw it in her eyes. The guilt, the shame. And for the first time in years, I felt nothing for her. She wasn't my wife anymore, not after this. It was time to end this. I had planned it out in my mind, how this moment would unfold. I wasn't going to beg for answers. I wasn't going to yell. I was going to make them face the truth. I stood there watching them crumble. They didn't know what to say. My stepchildren, the ones I had raised, were too stunned to even speak. "You thought you could take everything from me?" I said, my voice low and steady. My wife's face twisted in pain, but there was no sympathy in me, no pity. She reached for me, but I stepped back. She was nothing to me now. "You've already taken everything," I continued, "but there's one thing you'll never take from me." She was frozen. "You've taken my money, my trust, my time, but I still have my power." I turned and walked away. It was the last time I would see them. I didn't look back. I couldn't. I didn't need them. Not anymore. They had shown me who they really were. I'd done what I needed to do. I'd exposed the truth. And now I was free. No tears, no anger, just clarity. I had nothing left to lose. And I walked away, leaving them behind. And as I stepped out into the night, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. It was over.